Hi, Senator Cruz. Thank you again for meeting with me.
Thank you, Kimberly.
One of the things I'd like to ask is, we're in Live Free or Die, New Hampshire. Small government, citizen legislators.
Yeah.
The problem is we have a majority house that is big government Democrats. Governor's mansion is big government Democrats. And some of the Republicans in the Senate are big government Republicans. How do we get the message out to regular people that government is the problem and not the solution?
It's a great question. The only answer, I think, it is the American people rising up. You know, I'm thrilled to have spent the day today in New Hampshire just going and trying to encourage grassroots activists. Because, listen, career politicians, they're not listening to us. And that's true in both parties. The only avenue to turn this country around is if the American people rise up and demand that we get back to the principles this nation was built on. And I'll tell you, Kimberly, the reason I'm optimistic is that's happening. It's happening all over the country. It's happening here in New Hampshire. The book of Ecclesiastes tells us there's nothing new under the sun. I think where we are today is very, very much like the late 1970s. Late 1970s, you have Jimmy Carter in the White House. You have the same failed economic policies out of control, spending and taxes and regulation, same economic misery and stagnation, same feckless foreign policy making the world a more dangerous place. And what happened is we saw a grassroots movement of millions of men and women that became the Reagan Revolution. It didn't come from Washington. Washington despised Ronald Reagan. It came from the American people. And the reason I'm optimistic is the same thing is happening. So what I would say to every New Hampshire man and woman who's concerned about the direction of this country, who's concerned about economic growth, about opportunity, about the American dream slipping away and becoming harder and harder to achieve, that now is the time to stand up and speak out. To speak out to your friends, to your neighbors, to your family, to your loved ones, and say, let's get back to the principles our great nation was built on. That's the only way we're going to turn the country around, and it's what's happening right now.
Thank you so much. There's a lot of liberty and political conservative activists in New Hampshire that is sort of getting pushed down by the establishment, so to speak. The other question I have, and it's sort of related to the same thing, we have Obamacare, Common Core, the economy, all hurting people, especially women, in my opinion. And yet we have Democrats at the national and the local level preaching about equal pay, which we already get.
Right.
I realize it's a distraction, but how do you get people back on track to the real issues?
Look, unfortunately, Washington plays games of political theater. So they introduce bills with nice, fuzzy titles on them that everyone's for, and they do it to try to distract people. You want to talk about a war on women? Under President Obama, 3.7 million women entered poverty. You want to talk about a war on women? Under President Obama, the median income for women in this country dropped by $733. You want to talk about a war on women? Let's talk about the single moms who are struggling trying to provide their kids. Maybe they're waiting tables, and they've had their hours forcibly reduced to 28, 29 hours a week because the threshold for Obamacare is 30 hours a week. Now, you can't feed your kids on 28 hours a week. So what are those single moms doing? They're going and getting a second job. And so now they still don't have health care, but now they've got two jobs. They've got two different bosses. They've got two schedules where on Monday they've got to be one place, on Tuesday they've got to be somewhere else, and they're seeing their kids even less. The answer for women and for men is to get back to an environment where small businesses are being created, are expanding. 2/3 of all new jobs come from small businesses. Getting back to an environment where opportunity is available for everyone. You know, under the Obama administration, the rich and powerful have done terrific. Those who walk the corridors of power in Washington, those who have lobbyists and influence with the Obama administration, have gotten fat and happy. And the people who've been left behind are hardworking Americans. We need to get back to fighting for hardworking Americans instead of the powerful political interests in Washington.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kimberly, and thank you for speaking up every day.